Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all having a great, blessed day. Hope everything's going well for you. Hope you're getting all that loot. Scarlet Enclave has been pretty rough for the majority of players, I'd say, over the past from last week anyway, before any of these nerfs got announced or implemented in the game. But I'm going to be going and showing you all of the hotfixes, nerfs, and class adjustments that we have received in the past 2 or 3 days. And yeah. They are pretty nice. I started to read them and I was like, I gotta record this and show everybody. Like, this is so good. My guild was stuck on Balnazar last week, which kind of sucked, but you know, we had fun at least as a guild. We made like a lot of attempts that night. We spent hours trying to down Balnazar. We got him to like 9% or something like that. But yeah, with these nerfs, it should be. I think we should be getting about 3 or 4 bosses out of 8 this week. But without further ado, let's jump in and show you guys the patch notes. Alrighty guys, so here are the Scarlet Enclave changes and class adjustments. This is a little hotfix that they did about 12.5 hours ago. I am trying to get it out as quick as I can to you guys. But anyways, it's going to just be a quick one. We're going to read through the... there's some nerfs for the Scarlet Enclave raid, which are nice in here. As you know, my guild phase 9, we spent about 5.5 hours, or 5 hours-ish, or something like that, on Balnazar on the first night that the raid came out. Like an hour after it went live, and we had a lot of trouble on that fight. Mainly, a decent amount of people were under-geared, because a lot of people just came back to raid for Phase 8 that haven't played since, like, Phase 3. But, anyways, yeah, let's just get into it. So, now the exquisite spices that you get from the Scarlet Junk Box, which if you don't know what that is, I'll post a link to a video that I made about the Scarlet Junk Box and the weekly that you can do to obtain it down below. But basically, it's saying this does not retroactively apply to previously obtained exquisite spices. Condemnation will now activate its effect when abilities such as Insect Swarm or Shadow Word Pain are cast. We got Priest Spirit of Redemption will no longer prevent the use of Dark Moon card Twisting Nether. Shamans, for players to adjust to the set bonus change, the Naxxramas tier vendor for Shamans will now offer an exchange from the Enhanced tier to the Tank tier. This is a one-way exchange and will no longer be available after April 28th. So make sure you get that done if you Shamans out there want to do that. Let's get into the Scarlet Enclave nerfs here. So we got Alexi, the Beast Lord, Enervate, and Enkindle can no longer target pets. I think that was a problem because I've heard from a couple different people, a couple friends and whatnot, saying that pets were just... it was out of control. Like, the pets were just basically pulling and making it miserable because people were just wiping because of it. But Enkindle and Innervate now ignore LOS. We got Balnazar. Sleep now grants players damage immunity. Now, that was the problem I saw in my guild alone. Like, people would get put to sleep and you're just dying because you have Carrion Swarm, which, look at this. The carrier of Carrion Swarm now has a visible debuff, so that's nice. Lillian Voss, never got to see her because we didn't see past the first boss. Ambition no longer increases her casting speed. Immolation Aura no longer targets pets. So if you're noticing that every boss pretty much had they changed the way that the pets stuff has worked. Like, they're not targeting pets anymore, so there shouldn't be any issue with that. Intoxicating Venom should no longer dispel anything other than itself. And Putrescence Poison Bolts during Berserk now ignore LOS. Alright, let's move on to there was nerfs that came out a day prior to this, and I want to go over that as well in this video. Alrighty, so here were the hotfixes for April 14th. So this one was 2 days ago. The other one was 12 hours ago. The Sunlight Sword no longer scales with spell power. It now inflicts physical damage. It was holy damage. Kansu's auto attack damage can no longer be mitigated by armor and deals less base damage. That's good if you're trying to get your sunglasses. Dedicated sunglasses can now be toggled on and off with the /flex emote. That's cool. Players who have lost their dedication effect but carry a combatant icon will have their aura restored the next time they use the item. Now that, if you don't know what that is, that's the cool new, like, they almost made like Mortal Kombat style outfits or uniforms for people to obtain, which is awesome. A random Dark Moon Fair card will now appear in damaged Undermined supply crates and War-Torn supply crates, so that's nice. You could get some Dark Moon Fair cards from that, maybe make some money. I don't know if they're still worth anything, but with the Realm restarts, so that was come Tuesday, the Scarlet Junk Box from the weekly quest in New Avalon will now always contain only one jostled fragment. You did have a chance at getting multiples. I wasn't lucky last week when I did my weekly. I only got one, but some people were getting 2 or 3. which was crazy. The amount of fragments needed to complete a Crusader's Chalice, they did reduce it. It was 6, it's now 3, so that's nice. And let's see. So the nerfs, or not nerfs, I'm sorry, these are just the adjustments for druids. The Restoration Druid T3 2-piece will now correctly allow multiple druids with the ret bonus to cause the effect on the same target. Paladins have had their Hammer of the Righteous now deals 4 times weapon DPS was 3. Hammer of the Righteous now strikes 3 additional targets was 2. Avenger's Shield now benefits from the Precision talent for its hit chance, that's cool. Avenger's Shield now gains 3% chance to hit when defense spec is engraved. So that's just basically across the board. Paladin prot pally buffs just got announced. That's awesome. Shaman with the Realm restarts the T3 2-piece now requires the player to have the Static Shock rune engraved. The tooltip will now be updated at a later date. BRD Ever After can now be completed in group sizes larger than 2 players. And the most important thing, guys, we've all been waiting for this. These are the Scarlet Enclave nerfs. So Calderon can no longer have his power drained or burned. Herod can no longer have his power drained or burned. Fixed an issue that allowed Salastraz's cremation spell to be interrupted. Fixed an issue that would cause light forged or light gorged whelps to erroneously trigger Salastraz's encounter record. Balnazar's Screeching Fear cast time has been increased to 2.5 seconds. That's nice. Balnazar will now berserk at 10 minutes. I think it was 5. Sleep is no longer able to be cancelled or removed early. The patrol after the Reborn Council should no longer pull through the wall, so that's good. Beatrix and Ad Health has been reduced by 25%. Guys, that is huge. That is massive. A lot of people were stuck on Beatrix. They got past Balnazar last week, couldn't get Beatrix down. That should help a lot of people clear Beatrix. She will only spawn 2 sets of ads and perform 2 class calls before becoming active. Basically, I think it was 6. It went down from 3 and 3. Beatrix Enrage timer has been increased to 10 minutes. I think her timer was also 5 minutes, so that's big. Ranged ads will run a little further towards players after spawning before casting ranged spells. So, gives you a couple seconds of not just getting pelted by stuff. Stock Break will now properly grant damage immunity during its duration. Rose's Thorn timer has been adjusted to better alternate and not overlap with Stock Break. Rose's Thorn charge speed is slightly slower, so charging at you will be slower, which pretty good. Beatrix should not melee during or immediately after Rose's Thorn, and Rose's Thorn, Confession, and Scarlet Arrows all have had their damage reduced. Guys, these are great across the board for people that, like I said, couldn't clear even 1 or 2 out of 8, you know what I mean? So hopefully our guild tonight, when we do our run, we should be probably, I would imagine we get at least 2, 3, or 4 out of 8. That would be nice, but I'm banking on at least 2 or 3 out of 8. But anyways, that is going to wrap up the video for today. If you guys found this useful or helpful, please don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video or a guide. I hope you all have a great day, and remember guys, I'll see you in the next one.